Okay, so here we go. Thank you for waiting around. I was just having to set up a few details for the stream there. It's me, Unstable Voltage. Welcome back to the second part of my Crusader Kings III stream, where we are attempting to form the Empire of Hispania. We're doing quite well already. We started off with the Kingdom of Leon, and we also then, through a lot of assassination, we murdered our way to the top. Killed our brother, the King of Castile, to inherit Castilian territories. Then we killed our other brother to basically inherit Galicia. After that, we went to war with Navarra and took lands from them. And we also went to war with one of the Muslim nations and took most of what used to be Aragon. And Barcelona is probably going to be one of our next targets. There are a few little territories here that we don't really have control of. What's going on with you? You are my vassal. That's a little bit of a weird anomaly down there. It should still count as our territory. Yeah, it's within our borders. That's fine. So, Barcelona, we also want to be going after the other Muslim territories to connect all of our territory up. And, let's, well, our levies are doing quite well at the moment. So, if I was to go to war with you, your alliances, you are allied to Duke Ahmad ibn Suleiman of the Hooded Duchy. So you are this guy. We've recently fought you as well, haven't we? Now hang on, that is actually not in my territory. Yes, in my territory. So you are actually allied to one of my dukes. Now, if I was to remove you from said duchy, then that alliance becomes a lot easier to deal with. So can we revoke your title? So we pull the duchy from him. It's not going to say he's going to accept. There's only a 40% chance that he would accept. We can revoke it without being a tyrant because it's a different religion. But he's not likely to accept. We don't have any hook on him. Difficult. We could... Imprisoning him is an act of tyranny. We could just straight up try and murder him. Or we could fabricate a hook. 90% chance if it's successful. So let's go ahead and try and fabricate a hook against him, and then what we'll do is we'll use that to remove him from the duchy, and then he will lose his ally. That's the hope that we are going for. Our relationship with England at the moment is not that great. It's only -7, but I prefer it was a little bit higher, so we're going to go ahead. Are we trying to sway anybody at the moment? Let's look at our intrigue. We are currently trying to sway our own queen. Let's just go to trying to sway him. That's only 44%. It's not an awful lot, is it? He's in the negative right now. We probably can't really give him a gift. Let's go and send our Chancellor on Foreign Affairs now. He might actually be able to increase that a little bit as time goes on. We've also got our... Now, where are we? Council. We've got our steward trying to convert some culture. He's at 77%, so we'll allow him to carry on doing that. Incubus, hi, welcome to the stream. King's Rook, hey, how are you doing? Welcome along too. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of scheming going on right here. All of our vassals are just kind of having little wars with each other. That is fine. Of course, if we do go to war with these guys, we can still bring in our own allies. Now, if I was to go to war with you, let's just say I declared a war on you. Oh, I don't actually have a war for that kingdom at the moment. We've got some holy wars, but I can't do anything with that right now. So what about if I were to declare a war on Barcelona and actually work my way east before working my way south? Could we do that? Who does Barcelona have an alliance with? You are currently defending against my own duke here, which is a little bit weird. and you are allied to Petty King Conan Mab Alan of Brittany. So you're allied to Brittany. Not a huge problem as far as I'm concerned. Brittany is allied to Champagne, and yeah, that's it really. And you guys are already in a war. So do I have a claim over here on you? So no, the only claim I can press is this Duke's claim. The Duke that I want to basically remove his title. He's trying to grab Barcelona. So I guess we need to sort of try and fabricate some claim down here. We can't afford a holy war. So let's go ahead and in our council, we will use our chaplain to... You can only fabricate claims on counties, but we can use him to do this. Now then, let me just have a quick look there. Where is their capital? It's down here. But grabbing the county on its own is probably a little bit useless. So let's just go and grab one up here. No, that's not the one we want. Let's grab this one. It's closer to us. And we'll work our way down. Missed part 1. I will be posting the parts of the stream on the channel. I can't do it until tomorrow because at the moment Paradox are only allowing live streaming. I know some people have put videos up, but they're people that have been given special permission. But as of tomorrow, when the game releases, I'll be able to put the VODs up as well. Yeah, it was about 3.5 hours on that live stream, so it will be up. Do we have any children that we can marry off? Not at the moment. Well, we do actually have a daughter. She's currently... how old is she? She is 10. We do have an illegitimate daughter as well. We are currently allied to England, so we could potentially marry her off to somebody from France. That could be useful. Has the King of France got any children? He does have... no, he's got 2 daughters. So that's not as useful as it could be. It would have been nice if we could have married our daughter off to one of his sons, but he doesn't really have one. We can wait a little bit though. Looks like that they're twins actually, and they've only just been born, so there might be some more children coming along. But an alliance with France could be very useful there. We've already got an alliance with England, so that isn't too bad. So we'll just let our vassals fight amongst themselves. In the meantime, we will continue trying to fabricate a hook on that Duke. I do want to remove his title from him and give it to somebody that, you know, actually doesn't have a negative 100 opinion of me. How is our religion going? Are we paused? Yes, we are. So there's a few faiths here that we do need to flip over. So we'll do that after we've fabricated that claim. My daughter, with a tired yet blissful smile, Agatha presents me with the perfect little daughter. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? So we've had another daughter. Name it after her mother because it helps to get some positive opinions. So now we have 2 daughters. Not doing very well for sons here, so that's a little bit problematic. We do have quite a few wars that we can declare. Yeah, we can declare a war on King Philippe of France. Let's not do that. We can change Count Alvar's contract, so we have a hook on you. Let's put your taxes up to high and use the hook, so we'll get a little bit more money out of you. Queen Gertrude has a claim on the county of Colmar. So you have arrived in my court and you've got a claim on the county of Colmar. That is in the middle of the HRE and probably not something that I want to press at any time ever. So we'll leave that for the time being. My screen is cut off. It shouldn't be. It looks like it's displaying how it should be. Let me just pause up a moment and have a look at the screen there. No, I'm looking on the stream playback and everything is where it's supposed to be. So I'm not too sure what it is you're seeing there. But everything is on the screen. Greetings, my sensible liege. With Castilian settlement and the installation of a new administration. The people of Leon have fully embraced Castilian traditions. Great work. So that was my steward flipping over the culture, because we've got some... You see, we've got quite a few places here that aren't Castilian. So we do need to flip them over. So especially down here, especially this one as well, because this is our own castle. I don't think that has the right culture. No, it doesn't. So let's go and do that. So we'll get our council. You're going to go and promote culture and do it here. Did that actually work? Yes, yes it did. Okay, brilliant. Get back out of there. So he should hopefully flip that culture over for us. Ah, right. Well, I mean, I'm streaming in just normal 16:9 at 1920 by 1080, so I don't know why it's doing that on mobile. Yeah, we could try and get some sort of alliance with the HRE. He does have princess, prince. So he does have a son. The son isn't looking betrothed. Now, what is the HRE's relationships with people? Got an alliance to Hungary. I mean, he might be useful. I'd sooner have the alliance with France, to be honest. Let's just double check France again and make sure he hasn't popped out any male heirs. No, he hasn't. Yeah, so we could try and do that. We could go and see if we can get a betrothal between you and my daughter. So we've actually got 2 daughters. Oh yeah, that's the one that's just been born. So we'll do the older daughter. Children born of this marriage will... Yeah, so obviously she's my primary heir at the moment. So this is a little bit risky, because if I arrange this betrothal, this is my current heir and she'd be the wrong dynasty. And there's no way they're going to... Actually, would accept a matrilineal marriage. Interesting. Well, we'll send that proposal then. A matrilineal marriage with the Holy Roman Empire. If that goes through, that could be very, very useful. And we've got an alliance with the Holy Roman Empire, so he's actually accepted that. A matrilineal marriage. How rare. Instantly calls us into a war. He's at war with Denmark. And he has an ally, which is Novosil. That's fine. We can accept. We can get involved. I mean, we don't have to get involved directly in the war. Can we see where that's going on? So basically, it's all the blue versus the red. I can't really get up there. I mean, I could. I could raise an army and sail all the way around to Denmark. Is there any point? I mean, I guess we could raise our armies. Trying to maintain money. I mean, we've accepted the call. We don't actually have to get involved. We won't get any of the prestige or anything, but I think that's fine. So our physician has finally actually gained the trait physician. Well, that's good. How old is he now? He's 70. He's not going to be around for much longer. So we've joined a war. We failed our scheme to fabricate that hook. We're going to continue to try. Let's have a look at that scheme. So 90% chance and it failed. I can't actually believe that that fell through. Hooks and secrets. Lots of hooks on lots of different people here. Not necessarily all useful ones. So we'll leave those for the time being. You can unlock a new perk for your Intrigue lifestyle. Excellent. So let's go ahead and do that. Finding secrets progress speed is increased, so we could pick that up. Seduction schemes we're not using right now. Remove the tier difference penalty from your seduction schemes. Again, seduction, we're not bothered. Torturer. 50% chance to gain an intrigue or prowess when we torture somebody. Or getting some additional martial intrigue and prowess if we get our stress level up, which we really don't want to do if we can avoid it. Ideally what we want to do is get down here, allowing us to have 2 hostile schemes going at once, and then getting Schemer. Because Schemer, if we could get that... Will you actually let me mouse over that, please? Stop it. Always does this for some reason. Anyway, Schema gives me like an extra +4 or 5 intrigue. So let's go and work down this. We'll try and fill this tree in as quick as we can, if possible. So, funnily enough, why are you losing this fight? I mean, okay, yeah, I guess he's got 3k armies there. I mean, I've got 3k. If I were willing... Right, what are my factions? I don't want to send all of my armies up there if I've got factions that are willing to cause problems. Because we've got this thing here, this Andalusian Mulawadi populists. Which is all, of course, led by this guy. He's going to be a real pain in the ass if we don't get rid of it. Now, you don't have an heir, so we could just, like, try and kill off the entire dynasty. So instead of trying to fabricate a hook on him, could we just go ahead and murder him? I wish it would tell me what the chances of doing that. How far are we through this? 9 months to go. Let's just cancel that scheme, and let's just straight up try and get rid of it if we can. There's only a 50% chance for it to happen. But let's try that. We might be able to get some other people into this. You might be interested, but probably not. We will get our spy master to support schemes, so that should bump it up a little bit. Wow, all of the bonuses that we've got to our schemes, and we still can't actually do that. So let's go ahead and raise all of our armies, and we'll go and try and help out if we can. Now the question here is, do we go via sea, or do we go via land? I think we should probably try and go via sea. Probably going to be quicker than marching all the way through France and the HRE. We just need to keep our eye on our soldiers. So we've managed to sway our queen again. We're definitely getting her opinion up of us. Can we... try and seduce her? I mean, she likes us now. Let's, what am I doing? Intrigue. Let's call the sway action off. And then let's see if we can seduce or romance her. 50% chance of it working. It'll take 2 years. This is our second wife, by the way. Our first wife actually was murdered, I believe. Does it actually tell us how she died? Was murdered. Yes. By you. Oh, was it you that actually murdered me? And you're my courtier. Can I arrest you? Yeah, there's only a 17% chance to arrest her. She's just a courtier though, so there's not an awful lot to do here. She's a known criminal. She murdered a family member, allowing us to imprison her without her being a tyrant. If we try and imprison her, she will leave our court. That's fine, actually. We'll just try and imprison her and see if she leaves. Romance. Declaration of love. The time has come to let my feelings towards Queen Ck3 be known. I want her to remember this day for the rest of her life. We can sing her a love ballad, we can secretly plant a letter in her chambers, or we can impress her by winning a sparring match. I'll go with my gut in the moment. Well, let's have a look at... she's an insightful thinker. She is gregarious, she's diligent, and she is callous. So which should we go for? It's a difficult one. Let's try planting the letter. It's a bit of a gamble. My declaration of love is for Queen Ck3's eyes only. No one else matters. I pour my heart out page after page, my feelings growing as I finally put them into words. The ink has barely dried as I set out for Ck3's chamber. I gently place the scroll on her bolster. Will she lay here tonight dreaming of me? The waiting is unbearable. The thought of rejection makes me sick to my stomach. When her reply arrives, I tear the seal with shaking hands. While I cannot encourage you, my liege, I am most grateful for your kind words. Yours faithfully, Ck3. Oh dear. So, well, the scheme continues. That's not the end of things, so we'll just carry on. Renegade. She's managed to avoid capture and has fled to the countryside. That is fine. We've got rid of her from our court. We're losing money now. That's because we've got our armies raised. But that is fine and to be expected. Let's have a look with our intrigue. This has actually gone up to 64% now. That's because I think we've got our spy master working on our side. Again, still only one person we could possibly get to help. Even if we got rid of that reluctance, the negative opinion would still be minus 28. So, yeah, not really a lot we can do there. We might just have to gamble on that one and see if it works. So how are things going up here? So there's a 3k stack. We could just jump in with the HRE's armies and try and nibble off these guys. Or we could just go in and try and just siege out Denmark. If we can see them coming, it might not be a bad idea. Let's move up into this zone up here. I think our allies' army is about to get completely smashed right now. But let's move into... There's the... Well, I guess obviously the barony is where the flag is. So it looks like you're all standing around there. I'm guessing the moment I start to siege, they're probably going to head north. If at any point I see this army move, I am off. This is going to take a maximum of 7 months. Yeah, if I see their army heading north, I'm going to break off here and just basically run to the south and attempt to... Oh, we got a starvation thing. Nice. Romance, the Grey One. Sweet Lady Agatha, I sigh as I kneel before her. My only desire is to bring you honour and happiness. Pray tell me, how can I prove my love for you? Queen Agatha hesitates and her cheeks turn red. By God, I hope she's pleased and not embarrassed. Slay a wolf and bring me its pelt. Then we may continue this conversation. So, your wish is my command. So we've got a 59% chance to slay the wolf, and a 40% chance to return empty-handed. Again, what is that other 1%? Why is it every single Paradox game, everything just adds up to 99%? So, 59% chance we could go and try and get this dog pelt and fake it. There's only 63% chance. There's only 4% chance more likely. And if she sees through it, she loses opinion. I could bribe a hunter. Yeah, let's bribe a hunter. 30 gold. We can afford that. That army still looks like it's moving to the south. Looks like he's moving to the south to try and siege something else. So we'll allow that to happen. Yep, he's going to siege that. Hopefully he doesn't have a second army up here that's going to cause me some problems. But we definitely need to keep an eye on those armies. Greetings, King Alfonso of Leon. I have prowled through the documents, both ancient and of less certain provenance, and I finally have the material to make a case that you are the rightful lord of the Seekdom of Plasencia. It cost us 102 gold to get an unpressed claim there, which is not brilliant when we're at war and losing. Actually, we're not losing that much money right now because we are sort of sieging out, not at sea. We will stand the armies down if we need to. I'm just hoping we can help sort of turn the tide in this war a little bit. It'd be quite nice if we can. Doesn't look like we siege anything here. I mean, it doesn't look like we loot anything. No, there is some loot there. Do we only get the loot when we capture it? I know in CK2 you used to get the loot providing you were... in CK2, providing you were actually sieging, you used to get the loot. They've got a disease outbreak. That's excellent. These guys are actually... Are they rushing that siege? I think they might be. Now they're heading out to the east. Now they are starting to come back, but I intend to let this siege finish because it's literally got 50 days. I don't think they can get back in time. Prisoner taken in the siege as well. Oh, did we get it? Yes, we did. Excellent. We'll go back and look at that in a second. My lord, it's come to my attention that there is a rare opportunity to invest in the county of Salamancia. My wife Agatha draws up the details for the business investment, and it does indeed look as if the deal could benefit Salamanca greatly if succeeded. 75% it gets successful business endeavours for 10 years, or 25% that it gets failed business endeavours. We can have the control level increased by 15 for 30 gold. Haven't got a lot of money. Or we can gain the prestige. Let's try this one. Let's take the gamble. Gain successful business. Excellent. So that army still isn't all the way to the north yet. So are we actually gaining any money from here right now? I don't think we are. Now, I've probably got enough men. Actually, are they going to engage my army? Because realistically, I've got a bigger army than they do. So I'm not terribly convinced that he would actually even risk attacking me. And he's fighting these guys here. So even though he's going to win, he's going to weaken his army significantly. Let's keep our eye on those factions as well, because we don't want them getting too large. What happened to the guy that we're fabricating on? 64%. We're about to get the opportunity to try this one. Ah, here we go. That was good timing, wasn't it? The time has come. My agents are in place. One of them will pay the assassin at the very night the deed will happen. Another will ensure the wall is unguarded. A third will leave a subtle trail of candles to Duke Army's bedchamber. Everything is in place. There's a 21% chance of being discovered, only a 64% chance that this will work, but let us try anyway. See if we look out. Assassin, it seems to have been difficult to get Duke armoured by himself, but once the assassin finally did, he was not long of this world. Thankfully, my involvement in the crimes remains unknown. So we've actually got rid of him now, which is great for us. Does that break this alliance? No, because you are now allied to the son. Or is that the grandson? No, that's your parents. That's your father that I have just murdered. So we could do now with getting rid of you. There's a 95% chance we can get rid of the son. Now who is in charge of this? Is it you? Yeah, so we need to get rid of you. 64% chance. If we get rid of the kid, then that should be ours. Okay, let's clear that off. Let's see if they... Unless we're missing the mini-map. Don't have the mini-map that we had in CK2. So let us... So I've got to do this... I mean, I can zoom, like, right out to the paper map like this. So, if you haven't seen the world, basically, I noticed that the map here is torn, so, you know, possibly there is room for some expansion here to the east, but, I mean, you know, there isn't a huge amount more over here. We've got, like, Japan and Australia and everything. I doubt we're going to see the Americas, because it wouldn't be appropriate in terms of the time period. And obviously, we're not going to get, like, the bottom of Africa and everything else, but, yeah, we might get the rest of Asia and Australasia in there, but who knows? But yeah, that's the full map as it is. Obviously, it looks quite different in, you know, the 11th century than in the 9th century when you can also play this game. So if you miss the first part of the stream, you can play starting in 1066, or you can play starting in, I want to say 867 or 869, and you can play basically any count or higher level ruler within those time periods. Oh dear, an embarrassing odour. Well, we've all had those, haven't we? I have secured an invitation to a feast in Lyon and a seat close to Agfa. Despite my determined attempts, I am failing to strike up a conversation. She probably rendered speechless by the intensity of my infections. Suddenly, the loudest fart I've ever heard erupts from our table. A few of the guests are looking at Agfa. I must save her. Oh dear. We can spend 150 prestige and give her a 67% chance that she is relieved and gains opinion of us. Or a 33% that she actually wasn't the one who farted and gains minus 10 opinion of us because she's embarrassed. Or we could just gain 10 stress and stay quiet. Let's take the gamble. She lost 10 opinion of us. She's disgusted. Oh dear. Oh, well, let's keep that going. So we're about to win another siege here. I might actually go down and just straight up fight their soldiers, because it will reduce the cost of our... The more men we lose, the less we have to pay in maintenance, basically. The things we know, I would be lying if I said it was not a little pleasing to see the way Count Gutierrez squirmed when I let him know what I knew. Taking me aside in private, my vassal wants to know what he can do about it. A little gold goes a long way. So we know something about this guy, do we? Hooks, potential hooks and secret. We know something about him. We've got a hook, I think. He's a seducer. So we can get him to give us 50 gold, and we'll gain 100 lifestyle experience. We can also gain 100 lifestyle experience. So we gain the 100 lifestyle experience anyway. We can gain 13 dread and give him 40 stress. Yep, sure. Let's do that. So the dread is actually quite useful because dread is basically the fear impacts that you have on other leaders. So the higher your dread, the more they fear you, the less likely they are to rise up against you and do nasty stuff. Let's go down and siege another barony on the way out. We'll head down. We've still got like 1,000 men more than these guys. They're constantly getting involved in battles, and even though they are winning, it is whittling their numbers down. Of course, we are taking attrition as well, so it's not all rainbows and lollipops here. This woman is still a problem, and she's still getting more and more people involved, including our marshal. We really need to get these people out. They all want the Kingdom of Leon. Who is she, and why is she still a pain in my neck? Can we... Can't use the murder scheme until the 25th of June 1085. I have no idea why. It doesn't say... I think it's because I had a murder scheme and then cancelled it. Could we imprison her? It's an act of tyranny. There's only a 7% chance it would succeed anyway. Oh, it's actually... No, you look like my marshal, but you're not my marshal. That's my marshal. You just look very similar. We're probably not going to sway her. We could try and fabricate a hook on her. So let's go and work on that. See if we can blackmail her into something. She's still not actually strong enough to fire off that faction. She's got to get, like, her strength has to get up to this line before she's strong enough. Of course, if our military power falls, the line will drop, but I think overall it's not too much of a problem. That other faction's actually gone away now as well. Neighbour hasn't won a war, so that's fine. It doesn't bother me directly. Did we actually grab that? That was a very quick siege. Let's get down to here. We are turning the tide of this war slightly. I mean, how much of Denmark do... Does Denmark have anything over here? No, it doesn't look like it. This siege has a maximum of 5 months left. Still losing a little bit of money, but we'll keep going. Romance, the request. Lady Ck3, let me prove my devotion to you in any way you deem fit. She ponders the request for a while before her face lights up. You should be able to sustain yourself on nothing but your love for me for many days. My devotion will carry me through. You gain slightly starved for 2 years. Possible outcomes. 67% you manage to avoid sustenance. And she gains 150 prestige and 15 opinion of us. The scheme romance, Queen Ck3 gains devotion. Or 33% you succumb to your body's needs. And she has to spend prestige and loses opinion of us. Not a crumb will pass the lips, but I won't shun a chunk or a piece. So, Intrigue challenge against Queen Ck3. Possible outcome, 67% no one uncovers the ruse. Or 33% she notices the deception. I might as well just go for this way, because it's the one most likely to happen. So, again... oh, she lost opinion of us every single time. It's like, I feel that the Intrigue challenge should have... If we did the Intrigue challenge, it should have gone our way, because her Intrigue is 10, and our Intrigue is 25, so why did we only have a 67% chance of the Intrigue challenge, the Intrigue test working? That one seems a little bit weird, but fine, it is what it is. Our piety is finally starting to go back up. The Pope does not like me at all, but not an awful lot that we can do about that. We did fabricate that claim. What is our bishop doing now? Anything useful? He's working on religious relations. Apparently, we should actually have him converting faiths, because we've got some faiths over here that need converting. So let's do that. You are still converting cultures. You're on 72%. Right, that is fine. So let's continue working on this war. It's actually going quite well. And that worries me when wars go well, because they don't usually. Not for me. Maximum of 2 months left on this one. We can come down and snatch Lübeck on the way. I'm unsure whether I want my the HRE here to be actually losing so many men in these petty battles, but it does actually help by weakening their army. They're definitely losing more men to battles than I am to attrition. New Intrigue perk is available. That was nice and quick. So Kidnapper enables the Abduction Scheme. Always nice to kidnap somebody. Come on, 6 days left. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have this one. Okay, over to Lübeck. Right, that army is now starting to move this way. Now, is he going to head up? Looks like he might do. I'm going to try and move through here. We might be able to catch him. The Scandal. My cousin Mezinda, that's better, has been showing signs of pregnancy for some time now, and everyone thought that her husband, Asnar, was the father of the child. Now it has become clear that the real-life father-to-be is none other than Garcia. Oh, what a scandal. Now everyone knows. Who cares? Army's going to take attrition by moving through here. Let's see if we can just jump straight in here and help out with this battle. It'd be nice if we could deal a crushing blow to their army, and they're already occupied by fighting these guys. There we go. We've got in there in time to reinforce. Scheme discovered. The existence of my plot to fabricate a hook on Christina has been discovered. While my involvement is not yet known, this will make it a lot more difficult to bring my plans to fruition. Curses. So do we carry on with that scheme? Because the scheme has been discovered. There's still an 87% chance that it's going to go ahead, so I think we leave it for now. This battle is definitely going our way. We are paused. Yep, Romance, Intruder. Every time I close my eyes, I see Queen Agatha's face. Sleep will not come. I cannot wait another moment. Cloaked in shadows, I make my way to the garden outside her living quarters. The sight of Agatha's chamber window makes my heart stutter. So close and yet so far. But wait, who is that climbing up the tower? The shady figure stops by Agatha's window and unlatches the shutters. My pet is in danger. I must save her. I go ahead with my attempt to romance her. Guards, guards, there is an intruder in the tower. You lose 10 opinion of you. So I lose 10 opinion of myself. What? You lose 10 opinion of you. Suspicion. That doesn't make any sense. Bear in mind that the game isn't actually out yet. It comes out tomorrow, but I believe this is the release version. That is weird. Or end your scheme. I did not come here to wrestle a burglar. 33% chance she's hurt by the intruder. 66% chance she escapes some harm. No, my pet is in danger. I must save her. The sounds from the struggle... It's not going to be a struggle, is it? The sounds from the struggle above is the greatest motivator I've ever known. Without care for life or limb, I hoist myself through Queen Agatha's window. I feel as if I've plunged into a frozen lake. Agatha is on the floor, the intruder pushing her down. A gleaming blade between them. With a roar, I grab the villain by the collar and throw him to the wall. The rest is a blur. When the danger is over, I turn towards her. What are you doing? She asks, her voice trembling. I raise my hands as a gesture of peace, but she draws her dagger. Don't come any closer. Leave at once, or I will hurt you. Oh, wow. Well, that's a little harsh. Okay, so we've got a victory here. So even though that was a decent victory, it didn't make a huge deal of difference. We'll stay there and undo that siege. Fabricate hook, a daring rescue. Would it not be wonderful if Christina owed me, not out of fear but out of gratitude, if I, for example, were to save her from vicious bandits while she was out travelling? Indeed, vicious bandits like the men currently waiting outside the castle gates. I would charge in with my guards at the last moment, driving them off and leaving Christina in life debt to me. Simple, yet so convincing. So it's going to cost us 60 gold. We get a strong hook. She loses opinion of us. Yeah. I mean, there's an 87% chance that's going to work. There's a 95% chance that we're not going to get discovered. Yep, we got the strong hook on it. Excellent. That is what we wanted. Can I just not make that go away? So now that we've got that strong hook, can we... can we ransom you off? We have a lot of prisoners here. You are worth 100 gold. Let's ransom you. Go back into factions. Find you. So we've got a strong hook on you now. At least we should have. Yeah, we've got a strong hook. So we could abduct her. 64% chance that that would work. What if we were to imprison you? Will not succeed. Even if we use the hook, it only might succeed. Let's attempt the abduction. We need to do something about her because this is quite terrible. Unpause. Prisoner released. That's quite a bit of gold. And let's see if we can release any more. 50 gold. Sometimes you only get favours because they're not really worth it or they don't have the money to ransom them back. So 50 gold with you. So I've got to watch this army because it is heading north and he could go up there and start trying to unsiege stuff, which we prefer not to happen. Not going to spend any money right now. How is Ck3? What I would say about Ck3 at the moment is if you know Ck2 and you like Ck2, you will like Ck3. There aren't massive differences between Ck2 and 3. Definitely there have been a lot of improvements to the user interface, to the complexity. There are some things that they've made a little bit more simplistic. But bear in mind, Crusader Kings II has been out for 10 years and is very, very bloated with DLC and expansions, and Ck3 doesn't have that yet. But certainly some things are a little bit more simplistic. But I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. So we have another daughter. She is Catholic, so let's give it a good Catholic name. So we've got lots of daughters at the moment, but we're really lacking on sons. France. Do you yet have a son? No, you do not. Hopefully at some point you will, and we can marry off one of our many daughters to you. Okay, so that is now unsieged. So let's consider going through here and trying to smash that army again if we can. We're actually turning the tide of this war. Cradled by sickness, all babies cry, but with little Maria there is no end to the tears. I desperately want the midwife to ease my worries, but her furrowed brow makes everything worse. The little lady is not gaining weight as she should. We will take good care of her, my lord, but in the end of her life is in God's hand. Okay. Now, he managed to get away. He turned around pretty quickly there. Gonna try and chase him down. Looks like we're going to catch the army there. Actually, yeah, we will probably win. We should do. We have 8 knights to their 1 knight. They're elite quality though. They've actually got better fighters, but we're superior quality, so it's not too bad. So yeah, we're actually turning the tide of this war. It was on negative like 80, 70, 80 something at one point. Our knight was slain, unfortunately. Greetings, my sensible liege. With Castilian settlements and the installation of a new administration, the people of Illa have finally embraced Castilian tradition. So that, again, is my steward, who has done a culture conversion somewhere. So we've still got a few more that we need to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get you to convert culture over here. That should have worked. I think it's because you're on the wrong map mode. Yeah, okay. So a lot of culture conversions to do. Let's keep our eye on up here. Right, we've won that battle, as we expected. Let's come down here and grab Lubeck. So it's 65% now. So it looks like you're at war with somebody else. And we're actually making money again, because we have lost a fair bit of the levy. Yeah, I was actually, because I've not really been streaming or making videos for a long time, I didn't automatically get offered an early key from Paradox, but I did manage to get one A lot of people that did get keys for it didn't get them like weeks in advance, so I've only had it for a few days. Played about 9 or 10 hours of it so far, but I'm really enjoying it. Abduct en route. When the time comes, my agents will need a safe route to transport Christina out of Count Lope's castle. A detailed map of the local hills with all of its hidden paths and caves would be an invaluable resource. We can pay a hunter for it. Let's hope he's discreet because we're paying 30 gold. He is discreet. Good. Excellent. We're going to try and abduct her because she's going to be a real pain. She's the leader of like this faction. This faction has been a nightmare from start to finish. So we really do want to try and get rid of her if we can. This siege of Lübeck looks like it's going to take a very long time. I'm going to keep my eye on what his army is doing because he may decide he wants to try and unsiege some of his territory. We're up to 70% here. How is Intrigue going? 74%. We don't have any personal schemes running right now. So let's go back to trying to... It was Seduce that we tried before, wasn't it? Oh, we can't do it again for a while. What we can try and do, though, is Sway. We can still try and make her like us. Because she really doesn't. We did not marry for love. We actually married because I needed male heirs, and she hasn't given me one yet. She's given me 2 daughters. I thought it was 3 daughters. But no, she's given me 2 daughters. I also have an illegitimate daughter. Somewhere. Who I can't remember where, because I didn't acknowledge that she was mine. I was hoping it would be a son. Where are you off to? You are embarking. You're embarking just to move down to there. That seems weird. Embarking actually costs gold. So to pay to get on a boat, literally just to move down there, seems absolutely stupid. But hey-ho. So we're taking a little bit of attrition. How long have we got left on this siege? Maximum of 36 days. Bit of a stalemate there, so no real progress. Could come down there and try and smash the army again. Ally joins the war. Excellent. 76% now. There's a week left on the siege. Okay, cool. So let's get in there and try and beat these guys up. We will have a crossing here, but then we're going to go in from land, so we should be alright. He did manage to siege that. He was very, very lucky there. Yeah, CK2 is incredibly complicated. I didn't start playing CK2 until it had already been out for several years, and a few of the DLC packs, the expansions, had already been released. The biggest problem that I had with CK2, and to be honest, it's the same problem that I generally have with all of Paradox games, is the tutorial was absolutely useless. And by the time I started playing, the tutorial was out of date because it didn't cover half of the stuff that was covered in the that was added in the DLC. Obviously, you don't have that problem here when you start playing from the start because the tutorial is just covering base game concept. I've played through the tutorial of CK3 and it's actually not that bad. I mean, to be fair, because I've played CK2, I do have a better understanding, and as I said earlier, CK2 and CK3 are very similar. If you understand how CK2 works, then this game is just going to be, you know, almost second nature to you. But the big problem that I had with CK2 was understanding how all the different claims works, because there were so many times I would press a claim for a courtier only to end up with them becoming independent and me not getting the land. And I haven't had that happen yet, although I've not really been pressing too many courtiers' claims. My agents tell me that Christina is planning to travel from Vizcaya to Monterrey. I've arranged for some brigades to interrupt her little journey and make sure she arrives here instead. 74% chance of it working, only a 6% chance of being discovered. It's going to cost us 30 gold, but I don't care about that. Success, the brigands did their job admirably and she is finally safe in my hands. I hope she likes her new quarters. So lots of things going on here. Resistance to conversion, abduction scheme ends. An acquaintance has died and we've won a siege. 97% now. If we can go and beat up that army. So he's going in here to attack this army that belongs to the HRE. We're going to go in and reinforce. And that should be enough to end that war. To the impressive King of Leon, I call to you honour our alliance. Join me in the Bavarian claim on the Duchy of Swabia. So now you're going to war with somebody else. Excellent. Well, that's fine. Let's deal with one war at a time. Oh, there's some pause. So we want to move in here. 99%. This war should end anytime soon. New cultural fascination. Your culture is now fascinated by the land grants innovation. One of our valiant soldiers has managed to wound the enemy knight. So lots of stuff going on there. The scandal. My cousin... I never get... I always butcher names in these games. It doesn't matter which version it is. My cousin Mezinda has been showing the signs of pregnancy for some time now, and everyone thought that her husband Aznar was the father of the child. Now it's become clear that the real father-to-be is none other than Garcia. We've already had this very same thing. Is this their second or third child? Yeah. So she's just constantly sleeping with the same guy and popping out babies. I think her husband should have really cottoned on by now. So this war is at 100%. So maybe you guys want to, you know, get out of that war? Greetings, my impressive liege. In serving as your steward, I have learned much about record keeping and finance, and I am willing to tutor you in these topics in order to gain your favour. Possible outcomes. 38% that we take his lessons to heart and increases our stewardship by 2. Or a 61% chance that he advises me on my current situation and we gain taking finance lessons for 5 years. And he gets a weak hook on us. Sure, it's only a weak hook and they only last for a year. Okay, so that war is now over. We are paused. So, victory. We won the war led by Emperor Henrik IV, the Holy Roman Empire, against King Sven III, Svenderson of Denmark. So, he keeps his contested titles, and King Sven must pay him reparations. Allies share 300 prestige based on their contribution. We contributed 85% out of all the allies, so we gained 285 prestige and 95% opinion with the HRE. That is good, but we are involved in another war now. So who is this other war against? Oh, Bavaria, all the way down here now. Our levy is pretty beaten up, and we are the only ally. And we don't have nearly as many soldiers as we would like. Now, the guys that are all up... where are my other guys? They're all up here. Somewhere. Yeah. So I'm going to bring these guys back home. Because we want to really drop and re-raise the levies before we go and march over to Bavaria. Let's have a quick look at the factions. I love how this faction is now... She's in prison. And this faction has gone way over the top. I mean, they can't install her in power if she's dead, right? We still can't murder her. We can execute her, though. We'd become a tyrant if we did. Oh, we don't have a physician. Let's go and do that. Let's start a search for a physician. Let's look in our court. Look at our prisoners. There she is. We could execute her. This is an act of tyranny, causing all subjects to lose 10 opinion. All close family members and her spouse lose 50 opinion of us. All dynasty members of hers lose 20 opinion of us for 20 years. And we'd be committing a crime if we did this. So yeah, we can't execute her. We're going to keep her in prison for the time being. We've also got some other people who are involved in this faction. Can't really get any of them out. Our marshal is the one who's like has the better opinion of us out of everybody there, but maybe we just wait for them to rise up. Court physician. So we've got two options here. We've got this 37-year-old sadistic, lustful, just tough soldier. He's intelligent. He's a renowned physician, but he's sadistic. And we've got you. Yeah, he's definitely the better of the two, so we'll grab him as a physician. So that costs us a little bit more money. So I've accepted the call to war. I'm not necessarily going to go and dive in here. The HRE... Actually, who's the attacker in this war? Bavarian claim on the duchy. So our ally is the defender. I was going to say, why has he started a second war when his levies are completely destroyed? So we want to go back and recover our levies a little bit. Especially because I think we're going to have to deal with this faction. They can send an ultimatum in 11 months. What if we were to release her with a hook? What if we torture her? She loses opinion. All close... Oh, we're unpaused. All close members and spouse of her lose opinion of us. We'd be spending piety to do so, though. I'm not sure that I care that much. It would only let us discover secrets. So we move her to the dungeon, lowering her health and angering her close family. I don't care about her close family. Let's move her to the dungeon. We're hoping that she has some health issues. There we go. We get some new perks here. Seduction scheme success chance against courtiers and guests. Now, I haven't worked out whether or not courtiers and guests also include our own wife. She's technically a courtier. But multiple hostile schemes would be really useful. So now we can have 2 hostile schemes. Are there any schemes that we want to run? I feel like we should be getting rid of these people. Can we murder you? 64% chance. Let's start that scheme. And I don't want to murder my marshal. You are my vassal. Can we murder you? 80% chance. Yeah, let's start trying to get rid of some of these people that are part of this faction. That is the master plan. The armory is almost home. So yeah, one of the things that I really do like in CK3 is the way that the map just automatically changes as you zoom in and out. So if you zoom the map all the way out, you just get the paper map here. And if you zoom all the way in, you get the... this is like the middle zoom and shows you the individual realms. And if you zoom in, it changes to the terrain map mode. And you can actually not only select individual counties, but you can select individual holdings within the county. In CK2, you selected the county and your holdings were just buttons on the county tab. But you can actually see the, you can see the temple, the bishopric, you can see the city, you can see the barony. Another thing as well, because it is a full 3D map, you can actually rotate it around in any direction now as well, which is kind of cool. Although I wish there was a reset button. The existence of my plot to murder him has been discovered. While my involvement is not yet known, this will make it a lot more difficult for my plans to bring it to fruition. Amazing how quickly that was discovered. There's only a 5% chance of that happening now, so we might as well just go and abandon that right away. It's completely pointless at this stage. I was hoping we could take him out. Yeah, see, the map just doesn't sit where I want it to. Oh, it does. Does it just spring back? Oh, that's fine then. Call to war. I call you to honour your alliance to me in the Lower Lorrainian de jure war for the county of Zutphen. Lower Lorraine. Why does he keep getting involved in wars? So now these guys are involved in a war with him. Just warmongery. Our marshal's terrible as well. They have really simplified the... Are you guys going to land at any point? They have really simplified the map modes. So you've basically got... This is the realm map mode, which is the one that automatically changes as you zoom in and out. And then you've got your de jure counties... duchies, kingdoms, and empire view. And then you've got religion, culture, and houses. And then there is some extra ones here. So you've got government, development, terrain, and... counties as well, but they're kind of just hidden a little bit. These are like the least used ones. So gone are the usual quick buttons where you can you know, gone all the 50 different map modes, gone all the quick buttons where you can bind those map modes to certain buttons. But I saw somebody else say, write something earlier, which was basically Paradox really seem to have listened to people who play Crusader Kings 2, and they've done an awful lot to try and just work on that feedback for Crusader Kings 3. And I think that I think people are generally just going to find this game more accessible. I think it's going to be easier for people who haven't played a Crusader Kings game before to actually get into this than it ever was in previous Crusader Kings games. So there's quite a lot of people that are getting involved in this. Adelaide comes of age, so that is my daughter. So this is my eldest daughter, and she is betrothed. Yeah, but that's a matrilineal marriage, so that is fine. We're still allied with England. Can we get an alliance with France? Oh, have we got a new French ruler? Yes, we have. And you have a son who doesn't appear to be betrothed. Arranged marriage with our daughter. Who will not accept, you miserable git. We have too many existing alliances. That's the only thing that is stopping that from happening. Although this alliance with the Holy Roman Empire isn't exactly working out in our favour. So we're just going to let our levies recover at this point. What is our marshal currently doing? Although our marshal is one of those who is currently against us. How am I scheming? We're going to try and kill this guy off. I do have a hook on you. Can I do anything with you? I mean, it doesn't look like her health is deteriorating. She's arbitrary, gluttonous and brave. But literally killing her off would end this problem right now. How old is my ruler? Because he's not going to live forever anyway. We're 47. We still don't have a male heir. Well, Crusader Kings has always been an RPG game, and this is something that Paradox have said. It appeals to two crowds. It appeals to the grand strategy crowd, but it also appeals to crowds like RPG players, but also things like The Sims, because essentially you've got this game that's about making relationships with people, and some people do actually roleplay Crusader Kings. You know, that they will only take decisions that their character would take based on their personality traits, which to some degree you have to do now because you've got this stress meter, and if you make decisions that your character wouldn't make based on their personality, they gain stress. I'm gaining stress due to this faction. They can send an ultimatum in 2 months. And there isn't really an awful lot that I can do to slow this down. I mean, we could try and get rid of some of these people that are involved in this. We could try and murder some of these people off, but we're not going to get them in time anyway. I'm still very, very... I don't know, her health is bad now. She is near death, and not long for this world. The question is, will she die before that ultimatum pops? I guess what we could do, we have quite a bit of money, so it might be a good idea to go ahead and increase our light horsemen. We could probably get another men-at-arms regiment and get some bowmen or something like that. So let's go and create a bowman regiment. So it's costing us a little bit of money. It's going to take some time for them to build up. No, it is. This is. Oh, she died. What a shame. She died in my dungeons. And a faction targeting us has been disbanded. That's a shame, because now I've spent that money building up those forces, but it's probably for the best anyway. Yeah, Is Ck3 is pretty much the same vein as this. It was a strategy game. Although in CK3 they have simplified some of the strategy, like the combat is a bit more simplistic. But it is still a strategy game, except you don't just do everything by fighting. And in one sense, I actually feel that that's better. Was that our Archbishop that died? Yeah. In one sense, I feel that that's better because you look at a game like Europa Universalis 4, where the only real thing you can do in that is go to war. Sure, you've got things like royal marriages, and you can try and, you know, claim titles and things like that. But ultimately, everything you do in EU4 is about declaring wars. And you can take massive chunks of land. You can declare a war over a tiny little CB over one little county. And you can end up like taking an entire country in the peace deal. You've never been able to do that in Crusader Kings 2. In Crusader Kings, unless you've got a really legitimate claim on an entire kingdom, you're normally going to war for one county at a time. And once you declare your war using a certain CB, if you win the war, you only get whatever you declared the war for. So you can't declare a war on a county and then in the peace deal take everything. You just get that county. So often the best way to expand in CK is by playing the relationships. You marry off members of your family to other families. You try and inherit things. You murder people that get in your way. I mean, that is how this stream started. Leon was a very small country, and I was one of 3 brothers, and we owned a kingdom each. So the Kingdom of Galicia, the Kingdom of Leon, which I owned, and the Kingdom of Castile, which the eldest brother owned. And I killed the eldest brother, and therefore because I was his heir, I inherited the Kingdom of Castile. Then I killed the other brother and inherited the Kingdom of Galicia because I was his heir as well. So there is some strategy to it, and you can't just go around killing everybody. It helps that my character has a really high intrigue score, which means he's excellent at like shady shit. But he's not very good at martial. So my combat is terrible. So that's why I concentrate on like these schemes and things. But it is all part of the strategy. It's just strategy that doesn't necessarily revolve around combat. So we'll allow that to carry on. So we could possibly get involved in this war now that that faction has disbanded. There is still this faction though. That is a problem. Wants lower crown authority. Yeah, I bet you do. Do we want to lower the crown authority? I mean, I'm not all that bothered. We wouldn't get as much levy and tax from them, though. Rulers can change between available partition succession laws, titles can be revoked, vassals can be retracted, clan governments will provide at least 5% of levies and 2% of income. No, I think we'll leave it as it is. Greetings, my impressive liege. Peace be with you. I've been a good vassal to you, but surely you understand that I have subjects of my own too. My current contract is very restrictive. Surely you would see the wisdom in making it more lenient, and besides, you owe me. So what does he want? Feudal contract gained, sanctioned war declaration obligation. Feudal contract negotiations have been blocked. Okay, so now he can declare wars without my say, so that's fine. I'm not too bothered by that. What do you mean by an open map? I don't quite understand what you're getting at, what you're asking. Probably just me misunderstanding something. You could be a little bit more clearer. I will do my best to answer. The time has come. My agents are in place. One of them will pay the assassin the very night of the deed. We've read all this before. 95% chance of this happening. Only a 5% chance of being discovered. Let it go. Seems to have been difficult to get him by himself, but when the occasion finally did, he was not long for this world. Thankfully, my involvement in the crime remains unknown. So he was one of the people in the... Yeah, this faction is now suddenly just lost a lot of its power. There's still a few people here that we really do need to get rid of. 64% chance on you. 64% chance there. So it's 64 on all of these guys. We can't do it on you. Can we try and fabricate a hook on you? Yes. Sure. Play anywhere, yes. So basically, if you start a game, I'll actually show you. I don't mind doing that. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and save. And we will go back to the main menu. I do like on the main menu screen here that it actually shows your actual family, which is really cool. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game. And this is how it starts. So you basically, there are two years where you can start, 867 or 1066. And CK2 was like this when it first came out. There was only 2 or 3 years that you could start in. And then each time they added certain expansions, they increased the sort of timeline. And if you pick one of these options at the top, it gives you like notable characters that you can play as that are all part of the same sort of campaign. So like I'm doing Iberia in pieces. We've started as King Alfonso VI, King of Leon. And obviously all of these people, we're all related. These are all of our brothers and our sister. We could do the fate of England. So you've got like the King of Scotland, England, Normandy, Denmark. Just they're all part of the narrative. If you go for like the 867 start, things are a little bit broken up because you haven't the big kingdoms and empires haven't formed yet. But you've got this option down here in the bottom corner: play as any ruler in 867 or play as any ruler in 1066. And if you go ahead and click on that, you get a little loading screen. Again, it's nice and quick for me usually because I've got this on an M2 drive. And there we go. So now on this screen we can literally play as any count level character. So we can go in and look at counties mode. So we can literally go in and, I mean, some of these counties are going to be owned by several people, so you might end up playing as a king or a sultan. But you could literally just go in and, pick any little random, you play as characters, not as countries really, but yeah, you can basically pick any sort of nation to start with. So you can pick like smaller people. If I zoom right in, yeah, you can't play as bishops, but you can play as any baron. So we've got this guy. This is a random count, who is part of a kingdom. So we could just play as this guy if we wanted to. So it is a true start. I mean, obviously you don't have the entire world. You've only got this much of the world to choose from. But yeah, you can basically play as any of these characters. And while a lot of these characters are historic, there are a lot of randomly generated characters as well. So we're going to go ahead and load that game back in. I assume there'll be mods. The CK2 had mods, and CK2 had the Game of Thrones mod was very, very brilliant for that. So let us unpause. So we're involved in these two wars. I think I can probably safely raise the armies now and try and help in this war. Because I don't have to worry too much now about let's march through France. I'm sure France won't mind. We've got to get all the way. Actually, let's actually get out to sea and we'll go up there to Lower Lorraine. We'll go in from the top. We'll try and knock them out first. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the faction. This faction is still a problem. But that faction is actually going down. So we're in two wars here. We want to try and siege out Lower Lorraine, if possible. Are we now entering another war? Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I've just entered a war with France. That was a mistake. I am going to be horrible and save scum here. I did not read that properly, I'll admit. I'm going to blame the fact that it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I wasn't properly reading. But yeah, I am not going to join a war against France. who are my direct neighbour. I'd sooner be allied with France than the HRE anyway. Okay, so there's full levy. Let's get you out into the water. I don't mind safe scumming a little bit. It's fine. And you're going to go all the way over to there. So we're losing a bit of money because the armies are raised. But that's okay. We're on the right map type. I see this nation's actually been split up into two smaller nations now. So we might have a chance to... because we've got this border war thing going on. Growing strong, the weakness that plagued my daughter since her birth has finally released its hold of her. Relief washes over me as I see Maria running around with all the other children. May you grow strong, Maria. Oh, good. We still lack a male heir. How are things going on with the old wife there? Yes, so this is where you want me to go to war with France. So, on decline, he loses 20 opinion of us for 3 years. His opinion's 73 anyway, so we're going to decline that. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to get involved in yet another bloody war that you've got going on. I'm also tempted just not to get my armies sacrificed for him over here. Yeah, do you know what? I'm not bothered about the HRE. Let me just bring my armies back. If I'm going to raise my armies and lose manpower and lose money, I'm going to do it to gain the land that I want. I'm not fighting this guy's wars for him. I'm only involved because his son's married to my daughter. I'm not that bothered. He's getting ripped apart from the inside. Greetings, my sensible liege. Castilian, yes, okay, so we've managed to convert more culture. That is cool. Let's do some more again. So there's still a few little pockets of resistance. You are going to convert culture right there. We can actually have an extra holding now as well. So I could, if I wanted to, get rid of this guy and claim that barony for myself. Greetings, King Alfonso of Leon. 2 years ago, you promised to aid me in the Bavarian claim on the Duchy of Suaba. Did I? Yet so far you have done nothing to support me on this endeavour. What is the point of our alliance if you never even lift a finger to help me? This chest of gold should make up for my absence. I don't have enough money. I apologise. I should have not claimed that I would help. Break the alliance. Spend 150 prestige. Well, we've got like over 2,000, and his opinion of us drops. Do you know what? Let's break the alliance. Do not care. Betrothal broken. But do you know what? Oh, factions created against us now. What a surprise. Let's go to France, who has some sons, and arrange a marriage with our daughter and heir. Will not accept matrilineal. Okay, maybe not our heir. What about one of our other daughters? We'll accept. I'd just rather keep my... because at the moment my eldest daughter is my player heir. So if I die, it will be her that I play as, and I don't want to end up being the wife of the King of France. That's going to make things a little bit difficult. By right, my vassal has informed me of an obscure law in the country of Zaragoza that states none but the king may be its protector. Normally such an archaic law would be dismissed, but if it offers me a unique chance to put Duke Ahmed, my vassal and current ruler of the country of Zaragoza, in his place. So that's you, isn't it? The law is clear. The king has full rights. You get an unpressed claim on the county of Zaragoza. And Duke Ahmed II loses 30 opinion of me. Don't care. So, Zaragoza is going to be hit. This county. So we have, right here... none of my levies are currently raised, are they? Because yeah, my levies are raised. So I can't declare the war. Disband. If we broke the alliance, why are we still in these flipping wars? So I have a claim on you. What alliances do you have? You have alliance with this guy. Yeah, good luck. So let's go ahead and declare this war. Do I not have the ability to declare a war on him there? Can we just revoke the title? Will not accept. Might accept. Don't have a hook. Gets a pressed claim on the county. Loses 80 opinion of us. He will rise up in rebellion with other disgruntled vassals. Do you know what? Let him. Let's revoke the title. Let's see what he does. Alliance formed with the King of France. Excellent. I see no choice but to bow to your decision to strip me of the county of Zaragoza. Excellent. So that county is now ours. I'm going to keep it for the time being because I do have 6 of 6 domain limit. My biggest problem with CK, well, CK2 and CK3 is I'm terrible at pronouncing the character names. Yeah, that is the thing with Stellaris had a potential to be such a good game, but it feels very samey. Like the early, you have the early game, you have the mid game, you have the crisis. Then after the crisis, it's kind of just boring. Our heir is unmarried. Ideally, we'd like to get into a marriage that would accept matrilineal. Someone with really good martial. He's a duke of a peasant revolt. But look at that martial score. Wowzers. What about if you were to select him in a matrilineal marriage? Would not accept. Well, we're not going to marry her off to some random peasant. Rank. The Doge of Venice. Munster. We want to marry to a king. Most of these here are just petty kings are essentially duke ranks. I guess Venice could be useful. I don't know on that one. That's a difficult choice to make. I mean, we could just keep her at home. I mean, we could essentially marry her to another French prince. There's no reason why not to. But there are no more French princes. There's just the one. We do have this alliance with you. Have you got any? Younger children? Siblings? You're 27. You've got a 33-year-old son. What about grandchildren? Yeah. He is 60, but that makes no difference in here. There was one guy, I don't think he's going to be in my court anymore. Probably dead now. But there was like a 70-year-old guy betrothed to like an 8-year-old girl. You can't get married in this until you're like 15 or 16, but you can get betrothed at any age. But you know, that's how it was back then. You know, people got into these relationships to make babies, essentially, and to further their house. It often wasn't done for love or any other reasons other than, you know, women were considered just baby-making machines back then. But we'd like to get a marriage for an alliance here. I mean, it doesn't necessarily... It could be someone from outside of the court. Can we find somebody who is... Castilian? Maybe Christian? There's some Bretons down here. Yeah, the options aren't great. This random kid. Ooh, -9. Why only -9? Opinion of you -5. I have too many existing alliances, so yeah, that's always going to be the problem. I'm going to leave it for now. We don't need to get her married off straight away. I mean, she might pick her own husband, which is the only sort of problem. Low country control in Zaragoza, that's fine. Prisoners can be ransomed. Oh, we have some prisoners we can ransom off. Yep, sure. I'd forgotten about these people. They've just been rotting away in my dungeon and I haven't been paying any attention to them. 10 more gold. Will not accept. She's an unimportant courtier, so let's just go ahead and ransom her off for a weak hook, which basically means we're letting you go, but we expect a favour from you at some point in the future. And we'll ransom you off for 10 gold. Indiscreet Counsellor. Having served me faithfully as my Chancellor, I entrusted Count Paleo with the ability to travel freely within my court. However, I have now learned he has taken advantage of my hospitality by indiscreet with my daughter Adelaide. Wow, this is my 17-year-old daughter, who looks very small for her age. I will make him rot in jail for crossing me. He will lose opinion. All of his family will lose opinion. He stops being her lover, and we can imprison him. This is an act of tyranny. Well, it'd be a shame if anyone finds out. We'll use it to get the hook on him. To the heart of the South Onslaught, accept the ransom offer. Yep, that's fine. And can we ransom off that last prisoner? 10 more gold. Every little bit of gold's going to help here. We have died! Well, we had a good innings. That was a shame. That was a good character, because we had that great... well, 22 years. So we continue as the Queen. Now, obviously, we've instantly lost some territory here. We are still at war. We've lost Navarra, but we've pretty much kept a hold of everything else. So we do want to take Navarra back. We're not married. We haven't chosen a lifestyle focus and advice on succession. We're not too worried about that. We need to choose a lifestyle focus. So we're based on learning. So what can we get here? Medicine focus, an understanding of life beyond the vagaries of the world upon the body. Gives us +1 learning and a small boost to health. Scholarship focus gives us +3 learning and more development growth per month. Or faith and knowledge, understanding the divine meets understanding the world. Let's go for the scholarship focus. I mean, we don't have to go for this. We could go for any of these if we wanted to. We do have a decent, fairly decent diplomacy and stewardship level. I do like how this actually says taxwoman instead of taxman. They are gender specific. That's quite nice. And if we did this, we would actually get monthly income +10%, stewardship +3, enemy agent acceptance +5, stewardship +1, courtier and guest opinion +20. Let's go domain focus, I think. We're not going to be dictated what we want to play by our education. We are a dwarf. I was going to say she looks short. Yeah, she's got dwarfism. So she's temperate, she's cynical, and she's compassionate. She's an insightful thinker. Now we want to go ahead and find a spouse. And we want to take somebody not necessarily for an alliance. We want a matrilineal marriage. We want somebody with good stats, basically. Well, alliance para. Normandy, Scotland. Because we don't have our alliance with Normandy anymore, do we? So this would be a betrothal. And it will accept matrilineal. So the child the child has a lisp. So any children we have is going to be a lisping dwarf. That sounds about right. just for the fun of it. New Archbishop, dynasty head changed. Of course, we're not the head of the dynasty anymore, so we've got to sort that out. We've got open council positions. We're missing a chancellor. 13 is not great, but we'll take what we can. 25 stewardship. Holy crap. Is that the same guy we had before? That is impressive. Yes, same spymaster. No available spouse yet. Okay, so our heir is our sister. The head of our dynasty is our uncle? Your uncle? What are you to me? We are related to you. We need to try and get this guy killed off. Murder. Gain 60 stress because we are compassionate. So we're not going to be murdering anybody off with that. So he owns Navarra. So we want to try and take this. This is our... Right, this is our sister's... Was that a matrilineal marriage? So this is our half-sister's place. So that means you're now allied to France. So yeah, I can't actually declare war on Navarra. Oh, this is getting complicated. Okay, let's unpause and let things just rally on. Alliance formed with William the Conqueror. Good. Do we have any factions brewing up against us? Yes, all of them at 1,000%. They're all going to make... So this is Kingdom of Leon. This is the claimant, our cousin. Oh, they've all just suddenly reset themselves. I think that's because we've suddenly got that alliance with England and everyone's just turned around and gone, yeah, maybe we don't get involved with that. You gained the trait Fornicator. Oh, excellent. We are a fornicating dwarf. Out of wedlock. I've agonized over it and the signs are clear. I am with child. My lover, Count Paleo, is without doubt the father, but he is married and would surely never acknowledge my child is his. I will let everyone know who the father is. I mean, we're already pregnant, we've already got a fornicator, so we'd get that one way or another. The world learns of the child's true lineage. The unborn child will be known to have been conceived outside of wedlock. He must know but no one else. I cannot tell anyone. I must have a wise woman prepare a brew. 4% chance we'll die. %41 chance that it fails. Okay, we won't tell anyone. This is getting messy. This is getting really messy now. And this is one of the things that happens with Crusader Kings. It's like you actually build up a area of land and then you lose some of it because somebody dies and titles get split between them. So we really want to try and take something else if we can. Barcelona doesn't have any allies right now. Do I have any claims on Barcelona? I've got somebody else's claims. I don't have my own. Now, we did have at some point a claim down here on this. Can I still push this claim? No, apparently not. Don't have any claims of my own on these guys. Seize the Duchy of Aragon. Gain the contested titles. They're vastly inferior. It would cost more prestige than I have, unfortunately, so I can't even do that right now. So you do end up, and this is one of the problems, and EU4 has this issue as well, and Crusader Kings games have the same issue, is that you do end up in these little periods where you can't actually go to war and you're just kind of waiting for things to sort themselves out. This is one of them. A guild of stonemasons has established itself in the county of Salamanca. Having dedicated craftsmen in my personal service could help the region flourish. I will strike a deal with the chief mason. 29% chance that we get a great deal, 45% chance of a fair deal, and 25% chance of an unfortunate deal. Count Gomez earned me their allegiance, so it's a stewardship challenge. Or why would I need their help? Let's get the steward to try and help. Not going to raise my armies right now. I'll keep them as they are. So yeah, Navarra is going to be difficult. The only way we could really get that... Yeah, even if we killed off our half-sister, her heir is actually her mother, which was my previous character's wife at the time. So, tricky. We gained a lot of stress, but we could murder her off. How about murdering our own mother? Yeah, we're compassionate. Not a good trait to have in this game. Count Gomez has returned to me with an offer from the Masons Guild. I inspected their records, my liege. I do not believe a better deal can be struck. Sounds very good. Lose 75 gold, but okay. Let us get out of all these wars, please. So ideally, what my goal is here is to form, because there are no real win conditions in Crusader Kings. So I've got a self-imposed win condition here, is that I want to form the Empire of Hispania. So Empire is the highest title that you can form. So you have an empire, and an empire is made up of multiple kingdoms, and then usually anyway, and then within kingdoms are made up of multiple duchies, and then duchies are made up of multiple counties. And within a county you can have multiple holdings, which will be things like a barony, which is essentially a castle, temples, cities, things like that. In order to form a title, you normally need to hold 51% or more of the de jure lands that belong to that title. So to form the Empire of Hispania, we need to have 67 de jure counties. We only currently hold 32. It also requires us to have 2 kingdom titles. We currently only have the one, which is the Kingdom of Leon, but we could go ahead and grab another one, and we need 1,000 gold. At least I think it's the Kingdom of Leon. We can double check that by clicking here. So yeah, we've got the Kingdom of Leon, and then we've got the Duchy of Aragon, and then we've got several counties. But if we could get the Kingdom of Navarra, there are some other kingdom titles we could probably create, actually. So the Duchy of Portugal should be part of the... Oh, no, it's changed now because it's been so long, but there were different kingdoms here because this was the Kingdom of Galicia. Duchy title, part of... Yeah, everything's the Kingdom of Leon because we actually formed that. Are there any decisions we can take? We can search for a physician. Do we not have one? We do not have a physician. Let's go ahead and search for one of those. The factions are relatively quiet at the moment. It's going to be a while before we get our spouse. On the plus side, our army is actually quite good. 4,500 men is pretty decent. That is not bad at all. So what we probably want to do is... Oh, you've done what now? Dynasty head changed. You have become the new dynasty head. That is very useful. So you've just popped clogs. Court physician. So we've got 2 options here. You have 19 learning. You are diligent, just, and content. You have 10 learning, and you are a flamboyant trickster. Let's go for this one. It's always the first one on the list. What's going on here? You are my vassal. My 2-year-old vassal. And you are defending in a war against Countess Loba and Duke Sisamando. No, we're Duke Sisamando. Who's Countess Loba? So these yellow lines are actually good. They show you the liege lines. So this count is a vassal under this duke or duchess, and this duke or duchess is a vassal under this kingdom. So that's a really useful thing. So yeah, you are... I don't know why you're doing that, to be honest. But apparently you are. Well, that's fine. That's just what our succession law does. There's another one going on down here as well. We need to try and take this place if we can. At least we're getting decent piety. We might be able to start Holy War at some point. By right, my vassal has informed me of an obscure law in the county of Fraga that states none but the Queen may be its protector. Normally such an archaic law would be dismissed, but it offers me a unique chance to put Duke Ahmed, my vassal and current ruler of the county of Fraga, in his place. And Fraga is... I just want to see where it is. Can I just see where it is? It is this one over here. What's his opinion? Oh, he hates me. So, the law is clear. The Queen has full rights. Fatherless. My beautiful daughter is resting unaware of the challenging life she's been born into. The world does not know who her father is, and she might never know it herself. Name after my mother. So we already have a child. Again, it's a daughter. Why do we never have, like, males in this family? What's going on? Cradled by sickness, so she's got the illness. Where do we want to try and fabricate a claim? Barcelona, ideally. But I don't have any claims on you, do I? So what would happen if we push these claims for our count? Will it tell us? A claim on a title represents a legal right to own it and provides you with a casus belli to conquer it through war. Claims also provide a valid reason to revoke titles of vassal holders. Claims are usually given to rulers whenever they lose control of titles to someone else, but can also be created through the fabricate claim task. Furthermore, each child, even bastards, of a ruler have an implicit claim on all of that ruler's titles. If they do not inherit that title from the ruler when they die, those implicit claims will convert to pressed claims, which can be inherited by their own children as unpressed claims. So, if we were to press this claim, I have no idea what would happen. He would gain the contested title. What is that title? Again, the amount of piety that we'd need to declare these. Why does it cost so much? That is stupidly expensive. Surely that shouldn't cost us, because they're in green. Is the green and red the wrong way around? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I really shouldn't play games like this at 1 AM. It just makes things all the more confusing. So how about we go and try and fabricate our own claim somewhere? Let's go and fabricate on Barcelona. We'll get our council, we'll get our bishop, fabricate a claim, and do that. Oh, you're converting faith somewhere, aren't you? 6 years left? Yeah, screw that. Probably be dead before that happens. So we're going to try and get a claim on somewhere so we can start expanding again. Because the thing is, sometimes you'll get a little bit of land like this that you can't touch. Because, like, the Kingdom of Navarra is allied with France. But if we could grab enough of the rest of this stuff, we could still form the Hispanic Empire. And Navarra is de jure part of... the Empire of Hispania. And then we could turn around and say, if we became the Empress of Hispania, we can turn around to our half-sister and say, you should be my vassal, because you are the Queen of Navarra, and Navarra is part of the Empire of Hispania. She still might disagree with that, and it might end up in a war. So what's going on with the rest of the world? Oh, defeat in a war that I wasn't actually a part of. I'm fine with that. Really should have a go at playing some of these other nations at some point. I know that in when I've played CK2, I mainly stick around sort of Western Europe, although I have played in India before. And I think I've played up in Scandinavia before as well. But having trouble remembering now because it's been such a long time. Navarra's starting to get some infighting going on, so that'll be their own vassals fighting between themselves. What is our current law? It's still High Crown Authority. Our taxes aren't bad. We've got a decent income. And we've still got all of the good holdings that give us the decent amount of money. Hopefully this war will just end soon. It is also possible as well that our vassals can go to war with neighbours, so it doesn't always have to be us trying to take land from people. See, we've got that de jure claim to seize the Duchy of Aragon. So if we go and have a look at de jure duchy titles, so there's Aragon. It's hard to see where it is. We want to have right Duchy of Aragon. Yep, so we'd only be literally grabbing this county here. So as we can see, if I go into the Duchy map mode, and this lets me select individual duchies. So we select we can actually see it there anyway. We can see that blue line. That blue line represents our territory. So we by rights should own the Duchy of Aragon because there are 3 counties. We own 2 of them. We own 67% of the Duchy of Aragon. If we look at the Duchy of Aragon, we can't currently usurp the title. Well, you can't usurp anyway unless the faith is the same. But this county should be ours because it's this county here is part of Aragon. So we have a claim on that. And the reason we have a claim on that is because we own 67% of the duchy. So we get an automatic claim on the rest of it. So that is probably what we're going to be aiming for next. But we do need some prestige before we can do that. Either way, I think what I'm going to do at this point is call it a night because it is now 1:30 in the morning. My voice is going, I'm getting a bit of a headache, and I'm just rambling on. And I don't want to make too many mistakes because I feel that I'm already starting to miss little opportunities and things, and I'm going to make life more difficult for myself. So thanks a lot for those of you who came along. Thanks a lot for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, please do consider liking and subscribing. I will be uploading CK2 content to the channel after the game releases tomorrow, but before then it's just going to be streams. Probably won't have another opportunity to stream before the game releases, although it's possible. It might happen, I really don't know. But yes, by all means, do stick around if you want to see more Crusader Kings III content on the channel, along with Civilization and various other strategy games. So thanks a lot for watching. I will see you guys next time, and until then, goodbye for now.